Everybody wants me to succeed. Everybody wants the best for me.
Hello and welcome to my very first episode of Music Dreams TV in LA, in Hollywood. So today's guest is Kevin Dippold. Welcome, Kevin.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
And Kevin is a songwriter, producer, composer, award-winning mixer and composer. Have worked with Billy Corgan of Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, worked with the Smashing Pumpkins.
Awesome. So what did you do with them, just so that...
I did a lot of different things. I was working for Billy Corgan and his producer Carrie Brown, and we did all kinds of mixing and stuff for Guitar Hero and mixing live concerts and working on Oceania. That was the last thing I worked on with him.
Very cool.
His last record.
Cool.
Actually sang some background vocals. I was the only non-Smashing Pumpkin
that sang some...
to be on that record, yeah.
Awesome, very cool. So, okay, so tell us a little bit about yourself. So, are you from LA?
From Ohio, actually.
Are you primarily a guitar player?
Well, I started playing guitar, you know, that was about a long time ago at this point, and middle school, and played for a long, long time, and then as I got into recording more in my 20s, I started playing bass and, you know, playing keyboards, and I bought a flute.
So you're a multi-instrumentalist. So how long have you been in LA?
Almost 10 years.
Oh wow, okay. You're a seasoned Angelino.
Seasoned, yeah.
Awesome. Cool, and you have been in the music scene this entire
Yeah,
decade.
I've worked in music the whole time. When I got here, I built a studio when I was living in Ohio, or assembled studio components, I should say, and some nice microphones and other preamps, and I started just producing some different artists and doing mixing.
Cool. Is it okay if I ask you how you make your money in music?
Yeah, it's basically 3 areas. It's producing for different clients, producing rock songs, all country records, some pop things, rap over the years, and producing, mixing, rock music, and then I also have done a fair amount of film work, a number of documentaries, short films, some TV show. I did a TV show last year for NBC Sports, and those things most of the time it's mixing, but also writing music for picture, sort of scoring, and that's actually a very enjoyable part of what I do is writing for picture.
How do you find clients to produce, and how do you find...
Most of my work has basically been word of mouth, and from having lived here for the time I have, I've developed a network of people that have come to know what I do, and through that, and I'll be either introduced to friends of theirs, or it's basically all word of mouth and all interpersonal social sales, as I call it.
What is the state of the music industry in LA? What's happening like right now? What is the picture of the music scene here?
I think there's some great artists in town. There are some amazing singers here. There's great bands. There's obviously a very large music scene in terms of people making music, recording, producing. Lots of very talented people, lots of film composers, and everyone's doing it at different stratas and levels of success. Obviously, some bands are breaking out and going on national tours and taking it to the next level, and others are, they're trying to get their material together. There are a lot of artists too who have great material, but haven't found the right combination of elements to really make it pop. Everyone's basically become self-sufficient. There isn't really the record label presence like there was probably in the 80s or 90s here. So a lot of people are doing things on their own. They're putting together teams of producers and mixers and songwriters. But it also takes marketing and management and all the different elements, web design, and I think in this day, video directing. Video is a large part of what can make artists really come to the forefront of public attention. I think that in a lot of ways it's very hard for one person to do all those things, and so the people who can pool their resources are doing very well, and obviously there a lot of great people, and a lot of people move to California on top of that, so it is a hub for music.
So would you recommend that people move to LA for music?
I think people should move wherever they want to live, and I think that if they're trying to get into the music industry, there probably is a lot more jobs here than there would be obviously in some place in the Midwest or in the in a rural town. So sure, whether or not they want to move here or Nashville or New York or London, it's really their decision. But I think that people should have some sort of plan so they don't just get blown around by indecisiveness, or so they can have some sort of game plan to make sure they're making the most of their time, because music production is a very time-consuming process, and the one thing that's almost always say happens is that it takes longer than you think it will.
Yeah.
It's like you say, it'll only take 2 weeks, and then it takes 2 months.
Yeah.
So, and resources are limited, especially for a lot of independent artists. So you really do have to plan things out and kind of have a game plan of what you want to do.
Time whips through the world, searching for pure moments of scare and magical words. Trust washes the earth, coming with birth, wonderful rounds, only as a sound, manifesting uniform moonbeams, whirlpools of wind, a fortune, my friends.
So how do you find artists to work with?
It's just, Los Angeles is a great place because there's no shortage of people, and there are a lot of talented artistic people here, and it's a very social town in the sense that the music scene the music business is a social business, so a lot of things do happen at events and shows and parties, and so by becoming engaged in the community of people and sharing your ideas with people, I think that you just naturally meet people, and that's the best way to do it. It's about just
the synergy, like meeting people
yeah.
and vibing with them, and you want to work with people that you like.
Yeah, and I think that as you kind of work as an artist, developing your own ideas and doing what you do well, and then as you go, sooner or later you can hopefully, ideally, find another sort of key to that puzzle, or someone who complements you, and hopefully develop something in a way that is synergistic and that's exciting. I mean, I think that for me, I think a lot of it is something exciting. It's
excited about the project.
It's a very easy test to know if something's working. Like, is it exciting or not?
Yeah.
When you get excited as an artist, if you can share that with people, that's something that's worth something. Everyone wants to feel good, and when artists can feel good about what they do and bring that to a group of people, and then in turn make them feel good, that's worth something. And above that, when you get people excited, people will go out of their way to help share your music because they're excited. So excited really is like, it's a type of leverage.
That makes sense.
So,
what is your passion?
I love everything about music, but I love writing songs.
So that's primarily.
I think writing, creating my own music and creating my own recordings has always been.
And how do you release them? Where do you release them?
Through the internet, making videos, iTunes, submitting them to music libraries, getting them on TV and advertisements. My strengths lay in constructing songs and deconstructing songs, and creating music and creating sounds, and that is my passion.
Like, can anybody work with you, or are there specific genres?
I've done all kinds of different stuff, from grunge, like I said, to rock. I've worked on reggae. I worked with Ziggy Marley, and I've worked with Jessica Simpson, and I play a lot of guitar. I play a lot of acoustic guitar. I like all kinds of rock and alternative music. I work with a lot of singer-songwriters because I will do a lot of arranging and playing of instruments. So I produce, and then I also mix, but also perform. So I play guitars and bass, and I can play keyboards. I've written number of songs, lots of songs in my life, and I've recorded a lot of material, and I'm finishing a third record right now. And one thing I could say about self-producing is that it can be very difficult. And it comes down to writing first, and I like to write, on the piano or guitar. And this is my personal, the way I personally do it. And I like to make sure I have all the lyrics and music written, and just using something like my recorder on my phone, or a little tape recorder or something like that. I want to be able to just play a recording of the song on that level, and be able to get excited about the song, and know that it's a good song on that level. As an independent artist, I think it's good to try to set goals and follow through with them. I've seen a lot of times, and I've done this myself. I've had a goal or hope for my music, and then I've done all this work to get there, and then once I get 90% of the way done, or once someone gets very close to the finish, they abandon it because it's very difficult to finish things. And I think there's a process with being creative. It's a certain feeling you get, which feels very good, and it's the feeling of unlimited possibilities. So when you create an idea, it could be anything to begin with, and that feels really good. It's sort of a powerful feeling, and the closer you get to finishing something, the more and more that creative piece gets closer to one thing that's finalized. And once it's that final thing, for example, a finished song that's on the radio or internet, like, it's not anything different. It's just that, and that process is very difficult for a lot of people to let go of and say this is what it's going to be forever. But the great thing about it is, once you finish it, you instantly are empowered with the feeling of accomplishment and understanding the process from start to finish, and you can apply that knowledge to your next project. And that to me is artistic growth, and that's what I would encourage people to shoot for. Shooting for a high standard of recording and songwriting is always going to be good.
Well, I think you definitely have the gift of songwriting. I've heard your stuff, and it's awesome. Yeah, you definitely. And you've heard some of my songs, and right away you come up with ideas or chords, and so you definitely have that gift.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. How can people find you if they want to work with you?
They can reach me through my website, kevindippold.com, or just type in my name on the internet. It brings up a bunch of pages, and through social media, it's easy to find.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
feels good and it's